guys, I tried filming this video already, but we wanted to make it a little bit shorter, so yeah. So today we're going to be talking about the word inspire and why that isn't necessarily a good word to us. Inspire is not a bad word, it's just the way you use it towards people. Specifically in our cases, I have cerebral palsy and she has
type 1 diabetes.
And we get the word inspire almost daily for doing daily things that we don't think are really that inspiring. Michaela's gonna start first.
Okay. So, yeah, my name is Michaela. I'm 17 years old. I was diagnosed in 2008, so I was 8 years old when I went to the hospital for 6 days, and I had to learn how to take care of myself and do my shots and test my blood sugar and everything that entailed. And I remember coming back to school, and, you know, a lot of kids would tell me, a lot of my classmates would be like, oh, I feel so sorry for you. I couldn't do that, you know. It's something.
We should just make this into "Don't Say I'm Sorry" video. We're gonna mash this all together, okay? You'll get it.
So when I tell people I'm diabetic, you know, it's the only reason I would tell someone, like, off the bat, is if they're providing me with food and I need to do my blood sugar and calculate everything, or I'm about to do my shot and I need to explain what I'm doing, you know, because it's a weird thing to do while, you know, you order food and then I'm pricking my blood sugar and putting blood droplets. Like, that's weird to people. So I have to tell a lot of people that I'm diabetic, and I get, oh, my grandma has that, or, oh, I feel so sorry for you. And, or, you know, oh, you're so inspiring, you know, I couldn't do that. And the thing about saying you're sorry or saying I'm inspiring is it's very insulting to me.
To us, actually.
To us, actually. I just repeated what you said.
That's okay.
It's very insulting to us because it's celebrating what we do in our daily life as greater than it is. I have to test my blood sugar every time I eat and every time I go to sleep. I have to take my shot every time I eat and every time I go to sleep, and when my blood sugar is high, and I have to correct it to make it go down to the correct blood sugar level. It is a daily thing that I have to do since 05, and when people congratulate me on it,
or they say, oh, I could never do that, I'm so sorry,
it's insulting to me because I know that when I was 8, I did not do my shots within the first couple months. I was scared of doing that. I made my mother do it. But then one of my nurses said, you know, I have 4-year-olds doing their own shot. And I was like, okay, there are 4-year-olds doing this. They have to do it. That's why they're doing it themselves. I need to learn how to do it. So that process for me to get into getting used to my new lifestyle and everything I have to do. You know, I remember an instance when I went to youth group and someone was like, oh, do you need to go outside? Do you need to go outside? I'm sorry if you don't understand why that's insulting, but I'm not ashamed of my condition. It's not a disease, it's a condition. I'm not ashamed of it, because that is also another thing I had to overcome. I had to overcome being ashamed, because I used to do my shots and my testing in the bathroom because I was so ashamed. You know, I'm this weird, different person. I was the only diabetic at my elementary school and the only diabetic in my middle school. And it was lonely because I did not know anyone who had diabetes except for an older member of my small group, which is like a worship study group or Bible study group. And, you know, she was a mother of 2, and she
which we're gonna make a whole separate video on too, and is like pregnancies and motherhood. We're too young to start of that right now. We're just pointing it out, so that'll be a separate video
for business. Okay.
But anyway, continue on.
There's just no one my age that knew what I was going through. So, when people say that, it just triggers everything I've had to overcome, and it just brings it all back. Why would I go outside? Do you think I should be ashamed for this? It brings all those memories back. And it's like that with any condition, like, I don't know what other condition would cause you to do something in public like that, like I have to do.
Actually, cerebral palsy has different degrees where a lot of kids have to do feeding tubes in public.
Yeah, so that, imagine someone telling your son or daughter, would you like to go outside? Would you like,
to eat. This is how they eat.
Mm-hmm. So it's, I snapped at that girl. I was very upset. I was like, I don't need your pity. No, I don't need to go outside. This is what I do. Okay?
And then for my story, I'm 17. I have cerebral palsy. If you didn't know, which you should if you've been watching my videos. But anyway, I've lived with cerebral palsy all my life. Okay? All of my life. I've had it longer than she's had diabetes. Because you are diagnosed your entire life. You are probably diagnosed around maybe 10 to 12 months old. And you just have it your entire life. So I get daily I'm sorries, or you're so inspirational for doing daily things by strangers. And when I see that, I'm just like, on the outside, I'm just like, thank you, ma'am, or thank you, sir. Like, thank you for your generosity. Thank you for holding the door open. But when I get inside, I'm just like, why are you sorry? And one of these days, I'm going to get enough courage to ask the people. But they're not going to know what to say. I'm sorry that you have this condition. I'm sorry that you have to live with it your entire life. Well, guess what? If you live with it your entire life, or as long as she has, you get used to it. Okay? Because you have to. Because if you sit in a self-pity party for yourself, you're not going to get anywhere.
Yeah, nothing ever gets better. And I'll interject. I did have that pity party. I've
had that pity party too.
I had the first couple, I'm not going to lie, it was a year. It was a couple of years where I just felt I was supposed to be alone. I was supposed to not hang out with people, and I just read my books and didn't play with my friends anymore because I felt, okay, I'm this different. I don't belong with the other kids. And that was very lonely, and I did that to myself, but I just felt so isolated because, I was the only one in my entire school. It was a very small school, granted, but even when I went to middle school, which is even larger, there was no one else. And, I had to do special things, like if my blood sugar were high, that would just be my lunch hour because I would have to drink water and walk around the school, and, they'd be like, why aren't you eating lunch? I'm like, I have to get my blood sugar down. And that would be my lunch. I
mean, don't get me wrong, we all have our pity parties, but at some point you have to get over it. And that's kind of what we want to point out to people, is that it's not like we can't get depressed, or we can't get sad, or I can't get angry for being in this way. Like, I'm okay with having CP, and it's okay not to be okay with having CP, or it's okay not to be okay with having diabetes. But at some point, you just have to accept the fact that you do. You don't have to like it. You don't have to be okay with it. But you just have to be with the fact that I have to do this for myself now.
Do that.
Like, I like social media, and the people that I have met through social media, my social media is now reaching out and calling to other people with cerebral palsy or any other type of disability, and they have been so supportive. But I have gotten texts from girls and guys saying like, oh, I'm so sorry. Please don't be sorry, guys. We've already had to live with this. So we're not mad about it anymore. Or mad